they're not executing creativity-wise when they do get the ball into the halves, and I just think...
Well, what halves are they playing,
exactly. So, it'd be a dour affair, but yeah, I've gone for the Giants 24 points to 12.
I've gone 28-18 in favour of Huddersfield, so a 10-point win. I would say this will be a game that will be a potential banana skin for Huddersfield if Huddersfield were at full strength and in that top 6 places already, and playing some sort of form. But they really have to start playing some serious games against the teams that should be finishing below them in the table. So I think they will give this one a proper push, even though I often feel the Giants at home on a Sunday afternoon against a lower side is where they can sometimes be complacent. I just don't think they can afford that this time round. I'm sure there's enough players in that team who get that and will be a patched up and patchy Hull KR side.
Okay. Final game of the weekend sees the Castleford Tigers take on the Salford Red Devils. This is the sort of game where both teams want to prove their credentials. Castle will want to show that if they're a team that's going to step up and be in the top 4 and have a good run in the Cup, that they win all bar 1 or 2 of their home games this season, and Salford are going to show that they've got top 6 credentials for me, and they go about doing that by beating a team like Castleford, who incrementally have been improving whilst they've been stagnating over the last couple of years. I think that on home soil against a Salford side that suffered a bit of a crushing blow last weekend against Warrington, the Castleford Tigers are going to have too much for Salford, and this is going to be one of the ones where I predict a fairly wide margin of victory. I've gone for Cast by 30 points to 10 over a Salford side for whom trouble is never far away.
I'm going with a bigger scoreline, but a closer margin. 36 points to 26. I think both teams will score points in this one, because Castleford tend to leak points when they score points. It is my feeling. Castleford will be hampered by injuries, but they have enough strike weapons still in the side. They'll still have Gale, they'll still have Dawn, they'll still have Solomona, they'll still have Milner, and they'll be able to bring in Ryan Hampshire, who has an opportunity to show what he can do. That's why overall I think Castleford will have enough to score more points than the Salford side. Castleford probably have more depth as well to cope with the ongoing rigours of the season. And so 36-26 Cass, home side wins.
There you go. So you can let us know your thoughts on that, and of course get your predictions in if you're part of our Super Brew League. But if you're at a game this weekend, you want to know what's going on elsewhere, our friends at SL Clubs will have that covered for you, so you can keep abreast of everything that's going on in the Super League this weekend.
Championship game of the week, Thomas.
Sees top of the table Batley Bulldogs taking on third place Bradford Bulls, and I'm a nervous young man about this one. John Keir's got Batley firing on all cylinders this season. They are every inch a threat to the top 4 as far as I'm concerned, and they will take a lot of beating at a difficult ground to go and play at. It's hard to run up the hill at Batley.
So, getting your excuses in, what do you think will happen?
Well, I think if the Bulls turn up and play professionally, they'll win. But that's a bit of an if.
So you're predicting the Bulls?
Yeah, Bulls by 12.
Fair dues. I'm going to go with Batley. I'm going to say they're going to complete the set of the middle 8 teams from last year and beat you by 4 points. They're going to get a lead, they're going to tough it out, you're going to think you're going to be back into it, and then someone on your side is going to just drop the ball several times in the last, in attacking positions.
Right.
Probably Danny Addy. I don't know why I picked up Danny Addy.
You just picked a Bulls player that Danny Addy's been one of our most reliable players for about the last 3 years.
And that's why I think this is the game too far.
Listen, if you want to pick on a Bradford player, pick on Matty Blythe. At the minute, he's the one who's been struggling.
But in all honesty, I do think Batley will see this as like their crowning glory almost in that run to start the season. I don't want to predict them to slump after this, but I think they've built for this, and then it'll drop away, and that's why I've got a sneak that they might just win it.
Okay, well, that remains to be seen. League 1 game of the week sees Keighley Cougars take on Doncaster.
Yeah,
two teams you'd expect to be challenging for promotion. 2 teams
that won big last week. Doncaster went down. Keighley were a promotion challenger. So I'd go with the home side.
Yeah, I like Keighley. I think it's hard to go against Paul Marsh's lads. So yeah, Keighley by 10.
Yeah, close-ish, but
somewhere around there. So what stands out for us in the NRL this week, Mark?
Well, the Broncos play against the Warriors on Friday. That will hopefully see not Jack Reed, because he's still injured.
He's still injured.
Well, I think he's back about round 5. Greg Eden, though, hopefully will get another game and maybe not have the couple of errors he had last week, which will help keep him in the side, because he's going to have to start looking over his shoulder if he has another error-strewn performance.
Be interesting to see if Greg Eden does well, whether or not we start thinking about seeing him in the England fold.
He'd have to do very well.
Well, he's playing for the right guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's up against calibre of people like the lad who's in the next match we're going to talk about on Saturday, the Raiders against the Roosters, so hopefully there'll be 3 British players on display in this one. Actually, I should have thrown the Rabbitohs one in here, because George Bridges is back from his suspension this week, so that adds...
Is that his ball throw?
Yeah. So it adds to their British contingent, but the Raiders obviously have got Hodgson, who had to revert to the halves last week. I'm sure they'll have a more permanent solution to that this week. And Whitehead, who played 80 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
So good stuff there from a Brit Watch point of view.
Yes, there is. Okay, so that's tons of Rugby League, and that is the world of Rugby League well and truly covered for the week. All that remains for us now to do is to wrap up the show. Right, so that's episode 91 of the Super League pod in the bag and recorded for posterity, Mark. Who won Tweet of the Week this week?
We're going to give it to Dr. Hideous himself, David Cantrell, for facial hair review. Thank fuck Ryan Hall has shaved off that abomination of a tash.
Yeah, you've got to get rid of stuff like that. If you have as much of a shitter as Ryan Hall had last week...
What's he going to get rid of this week, though, his eyebrow?
Just stop being silly now. It's time to be sensible, Ryan, isn't it? His hair's not... He's lost the blonde hair now. Get rid of the tash and just... be a grown-up.
I think he was blonde last week, so that'll go.
That'll go this week, that's it. But congratulations, Dave Control, on winning Tweet of the Week. SLP recommends, Mark. Have you got anything for us?
Not really.
Okay, very good. Not Gazok's autobiography.
On the subject of Gazok's autobiography, it was World Book Day last week.
Did someone get sent to school as Gareth Ott?
And I saw, I think, 2 or maybe 3 pictures of kids, but I'm desperately hoping that they didn't actually take the book into school and read it in front of the class, because 1, there's a few naughty words in there, 2, there's not much contrition for naughty actions, and 3, it's very poorly written.
That would be the bigger crime for my money, the fact that it's quite poorly written.
Which I don't blame Gareth Ott for, as I've stated before, by the way.
Yeah, no one would expect you
to be a rugby league professional. You're only as good as your shadow.
Exactly. No one would expect Gareth Ott to be able to make a person out of that particular sow's ear, would they? But fair enough. Okay, well, I do have a recommendation this week, and it's a bar I found and discovered in Southport called Remedy. Now, I'm not usually one for going into bars that have got odd little names like that, but they do sell.
A bit fucking
no, it's all right. It's all right. You'd like it. Well, you wouldn't like it. It doesn't sell ale, but it's nice. The atmosphere is nice in there. They've got lots of board games knocking around and stuff like that, and it's quite low key. But they sell more gin than I've seen assembled, and also do whiskies and bourbons and guest things like that. So it's not really a drinker's pub, but it's a nice bar to kind of get your evening started in. And I had some sort of gin with elderflower tonic, and it had a slice of apple in it, and it was all very, very nice and very genteel. And so
sounds like one for the ladies.
It is one, if you're in Southport,
treat your lady.
Yeah, exactly. Take your before get some brownie points, and then go to the rugby. Remedy in Southport.
What rugby can you go to in Southport?
Get some brownie points, and then at a later date go to the rugby.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
Or you can jump on the motorway and drive to St Helens or Widnes or Warrington or Wigan or Leeds or Bradford and go from there.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going to the gym bar and then driving.
No, that's perhaps not the best idea.
Get on the train to Wigan or St Helens. It's on that line, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get straight through to Wigan Wallgate from Southport. So
right.
There you go.
Get off the train there.
Get off the train. Go to the...
drop into Wigan Central.
Drop into Wigan Central for a pint. See? We'll sort your pistols out for you kids.
All fall into place.
It's all coming together. Okay. Coming up on next week's show, then we're going to have all your feedback, shout-outs, reviews, previews, etc. If you want to get involved with us, how can the nice people get in touch with the show, Mark?
Well, you should be liking us on Facebook if you don't already, and that's Super League. It's facebook.com/Super League Pod. First time we've got it wrong this year. We've done so well up to that point. There is also our Twitter at Super League Pod. There is our blog, Tom, which is superleaguepod.blogspot.co.uk, where you can read about, most recently, your charity inspiration. You can go over to justgiving.com/Super League Pod stands up to donate to Tom's charity efforts. You had a breakthrough in the last week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm loath to boast about it because there's people that are in better physical shape than me, but it was a milestone in terms of my training, in that I got a sub 30-minute 5k in.
Do you know what it inspired me to
go out and see if you could do it quicker than I could?
Not see, just demonstrate.
Just to prove. All right. Fair enough.
I haven't done yet though, so you know.
Oh well, okay. So, okay.
Lazy.
So you thought I better go out and prove that I can
and
do, and then didn't.
Yeah. So every credit to you for your training effort.
Yeah. So we'll keep that going over the weeks. But yeah, it's coming together quite nicely. I'm planning on doing a full 10k the weekend after next. Because obviously I've got Erin this weekend, just to see where I'm at in terms of time and distance and actually experience it and get used to pacing myself properly. But no, it's going really well and I'm enjoying it, and it's really helpful to read people's kind comments and the donations that have been coming in. So please continue to do so, because Refuge is a fantastic charity and they stand up for people of the ilk of like Robert Louis' missus and people like that who are in desperately difficult situations, and gives them an opportunity to get out and extricate themselves from abusive relationships. And I think that's something we should all get behind.
Yeah, definitely. Not to forget as well, our email address, superleaguepod@gmail.com, if you've got a longer form piece you want to send in, like Dr. Bob's today, or ask
us about cycling,
Yeah.
We talk about all sorts of shit.
And for a long time this week as well. And that's pretty much it. But don't forget to subscribe on iTunes. We haven't had any reviews this calendar year yet on iTunes. So
and we rock a full 5-star as well.
Someone might want to address that. Keep an ear out for us on This Week in League. We'll hope that relationship continues as a strong start there.
Yeah, we've been enjoying doing This Week in Luke Dawn, haven't we?
Yeah, and we will be getting into Luke Dawn again this week.
Well, he gets in the stats roundup. Okay, so we will see you next time for episode 92 of the Super League Pod.
Have you ever wanted to play with the greats of Rugby League? In front of a crowd? In a stadium? Well, on the 2nd of April, you can do just that at the Whitebank Stadium, Oldham. In the first Roughheads Cup, a limited contact rugby league tournament, filled with former ex-professionals and internationals and open to social rugby league players. So don't worry if you're not in the best of shape. And if you don't fancy playing, well, come along and watch. There's an Easter market that takes place at 1 o'clock and you just donate on the gate. Players are asked to arrive at 1:45 and the tournament kicks off at 1:30. For more information, ring Graham on 0757 215 1523. That number again is 0757 215 1523.